So impulsively I just decided to take part in a readathon that's already started like 3 days ago, which is the Owls readathon, as in the subject in Harry Potter. Because I was watching a video by, what's her channel called? Mercy Bookish Reads, and it sounds really fun, and I'm really wanting to read a lot this month, and challenges like this for me are a very good motivation. This was originally created by the channel Book-OWLS. I've watched her video, she explains the prompts. So yeah, I was just going to show you, I was going to do a weekly vlog, and today's is going to include the books I'm going to read for the different subjects. I'm going to try and do all of them. You don't have to, and except you need to read 2, and to get an outstanding you need to read 5. I'll just try and read them all. So yeah, we're just going to go through them. First one is Ancient Runes. It has to have a symbol on the cover. So depending on what, you might agree with me or not. I'm just going to get the dust jacket of this because I've not been reading with the dust jacket. This is The Book of Chocolate Saints by Jeet Thayil, and on the cover there are a load of saints. To me, a saint is a symbol. I'm not religious personally, but saints are symbolic. That's why when the Protestant Revolution happened, at least in the UK, Catholic churches had their symbols of their saints along with other things removed. So I was going with that being a symbol. And then number 2, technically I've already done because I read this today, but if I read another book, it's a book with number in on the cover or in the title. And I'm doing 33 Revolutions by Kenneth Sanchez Guevara, which I just read and fell in love with. If I read another one, I'll count that because I read it today, but before I decided I was doing the readathon. Then the next one is Astrology, which is just a sci-fi book. So I got 2 for this because I'm going to read this book anyway. This is The Invention of Morale by Adolfo Biocascades. Oh, I meant to say this was translated from the Spanish by Howard Curtis. And then this one was translated, he's an Argentinian author, this was translated by Ruth L. C. Sims. I'm going to read this anyway, and on the back it talks about, he's an author that turns fantasy and science fiction inside out to expose the banality of our scientific, intellectual and especially erotic pretensions. So if this has sci-fi elements in it, I'm going to use this as my sci-fi book. If not, I'm going to finish Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I've been reading this for absolutely ever. I keep putting it down and pick it back up, but I've got less than half left. I think I'm going to have to start it again. There's no think about it. I know I'm going to have to start it again because I don't really remember what happens. This is, I'm really tempted to this on my TBR even though it wasn't on there. It's a big book. But because Obsidio just came out, I really wanted to read this again. So that's my sci-fi. If the Invention of Morale is not sci-fi. And then we've got Care of Magical Creatures. It has to have a magical creature on the cover. I can't believe I'm showing this book. I can't believe I've not read this. This is Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer. This came out in 2015. I've had it since then. It's almost 3 years since this came out in the summer. And that looks like a magical fiery wolf thing, so counting that as a magical creature. I've read all of his Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus books. My dad first gave me one of those. I was probably about 11, so before they were even really popular, and I've got the most random collection of them from all sorts of editions. but I started reading this, I never got into it, so I'm going to try again. This is quite big. This is nearly 500 pages long. So there's some big books in this TBR, and I'm slightly scared by them, which I find a shame because I never used to be scared by big books. And the next one is Charms, fantasy book. I'm going to read Circe by Madeline Miller, which comes out next Tuesday. So when that comes out, I'm going to go and buy a copy and read that. And I know I'm going to love it because I read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and it made me cry even though I knew how it ended because I knew the story of Achilles. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Circe herself is a sorceress, a goddess, a titan, however we want to class her. It's got magic in it. Next is Defense Against the Dark Arts. A book that has a secret society or club. I've not yet found one for this. If you have any suggestions, tell me. I need to find one. The only one I've seen people choose so far is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Obvious reasons. So I need to find one there. And then Herbology. It has an H word in the title. This is another one from my April TBR. This is Women at Sea by Catherine Poulin, and obviously sea is my word in there. Then I've got my list down here, that's what I keep reading. History, historical fiction. I've got Overland by Graham Rule. Oh, not this book's this way around. This is set during World War II. So, historical fiction. I actually got the next one's also Medical Studies and Non-Fiction. This is Anne Frank, Dreaming, Thinking, Writing. It's a non-fiction book about her life and the time that she lived. And then Potions, a book about alchemy. I'm yet to find one with this. I might have to go and borrow one from the library because I don't think I actually own any books with alchemy in it that I've not. Then the last one is Transfiguration. Anything that contains transfiguration, turning objects from one thing to another, shape-shifting, or a cat, because that's what Professor McGonagall turns into. This was so much fun. I thought, I do not own a book. I thought I'd own a book with a cat on it. Apparently I own books with dogs and wolves and horses and dragons and everything. Birds. Cats though apparently don't feature heavily on my books. But I just looked at one and I'm thinking that might have it on there. But I'm going to read this. This seems very appropriate. I'm going to read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And before you say anything, I'm reading the illustrated edition I got given a couple of years ago when this one first came out for Christmas. And right there is a little white cat. That was my success story. I didn't think I was going to find it. Oh no, I just knocked away from my pile of books that was next to me. I'm going to... What's the time? I'm not going to read because it's 10 to 1 in the morning. I was about to say I'm going to read some of The Invention of Morale, but I'm going to save that for the morning. I'm about to go and get some ice cream and sit in the garden and eat it while I read some more of The Invention of Morale. I read up to... I'm on page 20 now, and this is only about 100 pages long, so I might be able to finish that today. I'm going to sit outside. It feels like spring. It's not the warmest, but I want to sit outside. When it's sunny, I find it very hard to stay inside. But I also borrowed a book from the library that I saw in a bookshop. Not Working by Lisa Owens, and this just kind of sounds like it's going to be fun and light, and I don't know. I just saw it and I fancied it. It's not the sort of book I often read, so it sounded fun, basically. That's why I bought it. And then I got some amazing news. I was at the library doing some schoolwork, which I actually got done, which I was really happy about, which is why I'm allowing myself to go and sit outside in the sun and do some reading. So I didn't think I'd get it done until this afternoon, and I got it done this morning. But while I was there, I found out I've got placed as a research assistant on a project in Italy for 3 weeks this summer. I was sitting in the library doing schoolwork there in like the quiet section. I was just like, all I want to do is like jump up and down and scream. I'm so excited. So yeah, so I bought myself a book as a treat, even though I bought all those books yesterday. This is a Deborah Levy book. She's just released a new book, I believe, and I was looking at that and it sounded really good. But then I thought I might see if she's got something out that's in the paperback. This is Swimming Home, which is actually shortlisted for the Man Booker in 2012. I don't know, it just sounded interesting and fun, and it's sunny, so I brought a book set on holiday. I might take this with me to Italy and read it, or I might just read it now. But it won't count for any of my challenges for the thingy. I don't think this isn't going to count as my science fiction one either, so I'm going to have to pick something else up for that. So yes, that's my reading information update. I'm going to go outside and enjoy the sun. The air's cold and it's a bit breezy, but the sun is warm, and really that's all I care. I've got my jumper to put on because I'm still in my workout clothes because I cycled into town, which was fine, but it was a bit cold at one point. When the breeze came through, it was cold, and I was wishing I'd put on a more windproof layer than I've just got a base layer, and I have a workout top that's got a hood. So yes, I'm going to go listen to some music, eat ice cream and read a book for about 15 minutes, and I've got to come in and do some, so I think I'm going to do some chemistry homework next. Who knows? You don't care, it's not to do with a book, but I just need to know what I'm doing in my life. It's 3:10 now, so I've got to go in and do some schoolwork, but I read another 10 pages of The Invention of Morel. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not enjoying it as much as the last book I read last, but it's good. I think it's about 30 pages in, so I'm nearly a third of the way through. And I like it, but I don't love it. But it's definitely not going to count for what I thought it might count for because of the mention on the back. So, yeah, the sun is so gorgeous. I love the sun. So yeah, I'm just going to go in. I'm going to go and sit in the conservatory and do some schoolwork, and maybe if I finish some of that, I can come back out here and read some more. Oh, and there's a little blue tit on the bird feeder. It's so cute and tiny and close. Normally they're terrified of everything. I might show you if I can get it. Oh no, he went. Oh, he's somewhere in the tree now. Oh, coming back. There we are. Oh, the birdies. He's so pretty. Today has been a bit of a failure so far. It's 11 now. Oh, I cycled into town to go to yoga. It wasn't on, obviously. I came to a conclusion because the door to the studio wasn't open. I waited for 15 minutes. Nothing happened. So it started raining, so I was like, okay, I was just going to go and look in the bookshop because I thought about buying a book yesterday. I ended up buying Swing Home by Deborah Levy. I wanted to buy another book, but I wasn't sure about it. I've been thinking about it again. Judas by Amos Oz, I'm going to say his name is. I'd also seen another book in there that I needed to buy. Whereas I need to replace my copy. I'll go and get my copy to show you. So I went to pay for my 2 books and it turns out I didn't have enough money, so... And so then I just cycled back. I bought one. So I cycled back home and it was raining and it was blowing into my face, and then I was cycling into the wind, which like rain was blowing into my face, and my muscles hurt because I cycled into town faster than I normally would because I thought I was going to do yoga and stretch out and get all the sores and tighten out my muscles, but I hadn't. I was cycling back really soon after. And I didn't make it up the hill where we live, and I was just like, oh. So I just basically laid on the sofa for 40 minutes, not doing anything really. But I'll show you the book that I bought. And I'll try out if I could use it in any of the challenges for the Owls readathon. But I can't. Okay, so this is my new nice shiny version. This is a series called The Ranger's Apprentice, and this one is The Ruins of Gorland by John Flanagan, who is an Australian author. I've read the whole series of these, all 10 books, and I've read almost everything else this author's written. My dad's bought me all of these over the years. I used to read them as they came out, and my dad often used to go to Australia every year, and that's what he would bring me back, would be the latest of the Ranger's Apprentice books, because it's hard to get hold of them in the UK. I've never actually seen one in a bookshop until I saw this in my local one. So yeah, this is my old battered copy, which doesn't look too bad from here, but like we're falling apart. And we have literally lost pages, and it's stained. I would read this book again, but I physically can't because it's literally falling apart. And then some of the spine's gone, and it's falling apart at the back, and basically the spine's barely attached. That is just from, I've read this, I actually have no idea how many times I've read this book. Well, it's missing the first 12 pages. So, I'm going to keep this because I can't let it go. This is like a piece of me in this book. I read these at the time that other people read Harry Potter books. And that was my version of Harry Potter. It's not a magical book, it's a series that I've loved. I'll read you the blurb. The Rangers, with their shadowy ways, have always made him nervous, and now 15-year-old Will has been chosen as a Ranger's apprentice. But what he doesn't realise is that Rangers are the protectors of the kingdom. Highly trained in the skills of warfare and surveillance, they fight the battles before the battles reach the people, and now there is serious trouble brewing. The exiled Morgoth, Lord of the Mountains of Rain and Night, is gathering his forces for an attack on the kingdom. This time he will not be denied. Dun dun dun! I don't know how my dad found this, but this is my favourite series of all time. And there's 10 books, and by the time it gets to the last one, they're much bigger, but I'm going to have to read this weekend. So this is another different edition. I've got these editions in hardback, so I think I'm up to those 2 in paper, 3 different, I think I'm up to 5 different editions in 10 books now. So yeah, I'm going to read until lunchtime because that's what I was going to do when I was going to do yoga. I was not going to do anything until after lunch. I just said that to myself, you can have this morning off and do school in the afternoon. So right now I'm going to try and get to page 100 of Breakfast with Champions because I'm reading this for a book club. I don't know if the live show for this is on today or tomorrow because there's no information about it. So I'm going to at least read 200 pages, and then I'll be only a week behind instead of like a week and a half. I'm only halfway through what we read in the first week, and we're about to finish the second week. And then after I've read that, I need to read 44 pages, that's not that much. After I'm going to try and finish The Invention of Morale, because I have read... Okay, I've got 50 pages left of this. Love-hate affair with this. Some bits of it I love, and then like 2 sentences later I'm like, I don't like this. So I might look for some more by him. See if my library's got anything by him. And then I've got The Ranger's Apprentice, which honestly, this is only 280 pages, but I could probably read this in a couple of hours. I can probably quote parts of it. Yeah, my hamster's going back to bed. He's been so cute. You're sitting on top of my hamster cage and a box of tissues. So yes, this is my little reading pile. I'm loving the brightness of it and the colour theme of the reds and the blues. Because blue's my favourite colour, and then red's my second favourite colour. He's back again! Hello, Snowy! He is the cutest thing ever. I would show you him, but it's always really hard to actually get him on camera. He's like, boom, I'm gone. Okay, read. We're back outside to do some reading. I'm going to read the next chapter of Breakfast of Champions. That's about 40 pages, so I'll do that, and once I finish that I'm going to do some schoolwork, so you probably won't see me for a little while, but it's nicer now than it was yesterday, which is so annoying because, oh, I just zoomed you in, you do not need to see me that close up. Turns out I can't use my camera. Anyway, I'm going to read that, and then I think I might stay outside and do schoolwork if it stays this nice. So I've got some questions that I can do that hopefully I don't need the internet for. So yes, I'm going to eat my fish, eat my apple, and read 40 pages of Breakfast of Champions, and then I think that'll be it for my kind of reading and doing what I want to do until this evening. So yes, I'm going to enjoy what feels almost a spring day. Not done any school yet. I got changed into a t-shirt because it got warmer again. To open the windows and the door because they've stopped mowing the lawn. But I finished The Invention of Morale by Adolphe Bioy. I can't say the surname. Casares. I just don't want to get them wrong, and I know I'm getting them wrong. But it was good. I loved the beginning. Didn't really like the middle, and I loved the end. So it's probably like a 4-star book for me, because the bit I loved either end of it, and then the middle I didn't. There are bits where I just didn't like it. I didn't like how the narrative kind of moved around in a way. But it wasn't actually moving around, it just didn't feel consistent. So yeah, just did that. I just edited my video. My thoughts a haul is actually my April TBR, and now I can officially say I've read 2 books off of it. I'll also probably go read 2 that aren't on there because Swimming Home and Ranger's Apprentice aren't on there, but I'm definitely going to be reading those. So I'm going to actually upload that in a bit because my family is about to come home at any time now, and also our internet's gone really slow, so I don't think I'll actually be able to upload anything today. As I've sat here, the signal's literally gone down, which is ridiculous because I've literally just been sitting here. So yeah, so I'm going to try and upload that tomorrow, but it's all edited. I've got the thumbnail. I just need to put April TBR on it, and then I'm done. I just need to upload it, but our internet is too slow for that tonight. It's a 15-minute video. It'll probably take at least an hour to upload if I try to do it tonight. And I mean at least. Our internet's not great to start with, and then this today. So yes, I'm going to just upload a picture on my Instagram because I got this, I'll show you, pretty picture of a blue tit on the seed feeders that we have in our garden. Oh, you can't see that properly because of the glare, but yeah, there's that photo. It's really cute, so I'm going to upload that to Instagram. And then I might just read. I'm really tempted just to pick up Ranger's Apprentice and read the thing, because I know I could read it, and I could read it today easily. And that's even with reading it properly, that's not with skim reading it. So that's my plan. I'll update you as I go. I'm just slightly scared to read Ranger's Apprentice because of how damaged this copy, I've not read this particular book in quite a few years. I've read some of the other books, I just pick them out randomly when I fancy one sometimes because I know what they're all about. So I've read a couple of the others in the last year, but I don't tend to read the whole thing, I just kind of go to the bits that I know I love, my favourite bits of the book, and I'll read those. So I'm going to read that cover to cover and probably adore it, and I hope I do, because otherwise I'll be sad, because it's kind of one of those things that's completely nostalgic, but I saw it in there and I couldn't resist buying it because I've never seen one in an English bookshop. So yeah, Instagram and then Ranger's Apprentice. To me that sounds like a fabulous day. I've not uploaded anything on my Instagram for months. I don't even know if I've uploaded anything this year. I'm just picking up Women at Sea by Catherine Poulain, which is translated from the French by Adriana Hunter. I've just read the first 2 paragraphs and I love it. Because I started Ranger's Apprentice, I read the prologue, but my family came home and the mood was just completely ruined for that book. I'm just going to read kind of the first couple of pages, kind of introduction, while I wait for some footage to import, because I'm going to try and make a book haul out of an abandoned vlog that I had, because I'm pretty sure I showed the books, and if not I might just film it now because I really like the books and I've got my 2 new ones, so I'm going to see what this footage actually contains. I've got a couple of hours now where I'm going to just do some reading. It's basically 10:30. I'm sitting in bed, I'm still in my clothes, but I'm going to see if I can get a decent way through Women at Sea by Catherine Poulain. I really like this vlog, it helps me much more accountable to what I'm reading than just normally I am. Because normally I'd probably say this and I'd be like, oh, I didn't read anything, I got distracted by something on my iPad. I'm going to go get ready for bed now. It's 12:15. I've been reading for an hour and 45 minutes. I don't remember the last time I read for that long. This is amazing so far. I'm 102 pages in, so I'm over a third of the way through. And I love it. I think this is a debut novel though, so made some progress on my reading this evening. Nothing else, but I've read the first section of this, which is Women at Sea, which I'm reading for the herbology subject. I've read Halibut Hearts, and now I'm on to the second section, which is The Great Sailor, which is page 179, a 5-star read for me. And then the other thing I've read, and hence my kind of sombre mood, is Anne Frank, Dreaming, Thinking, Writing. I got this when I was in Amsterdam. I visited the Anne Frank house, which is I'm kind of emotional because I just finished this book, and you're reading it and you know the whole time it's a story about a girl who's died, and she really is a girl. She was only, what, 15 I think when she died. And in a way there's like this tiny slither of hope, like you're going, maybe she hasn't died, you know she has, but you don't want her to, because this is the story of a real person. And I think it puts into perspective a whole part of history, because all those numbers that you hear associated with the world wars and also current events, each one of those numbers has a person behind it. I think we like to forget that, because remembering there's a person behind it makes it even more painful than it already is. So yeah, this is quite amazing. It's the story of Anne Frank, but also it's a story of the time in which she lived. There are documents from her about her family, there are pictures of her family in the annex and her friends, but also stories, and there's also pictures and documents about the time in which the events happened in World War II. And I think people need to read it because it's an important story, and it's a story and a part of history I think we quite like to forget, but we can't. But we can't hold it against people either, because of who their ancestors may have been. So yeah, it's made me want to read. I'll finish reading The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. I was reading this for the Resende Reads book club, but I couldn't finish it. I've got this copy and it's got pictures in the middle section because it was too hard for me to read in the time that I needed to read it in. I'm not saying it's a bad book to have as a book club. I think it's a very important book because I think a lot of people have heard of it but they've never actually read it. I know my sister's read it and I'm reading it. I think it's the fact that hits me is it's still going on in the world. There are still people just dying in wars for no reason. Innocent people, maybe not even innocent people, but yeah, I just go find a place for this on my bookshelves. And this is a book I think I'm going to have to keep for the rest of my life, even if I never read it again. But I feel like I need to keep it. I'm gonna go before I go and cry, which isn't a very good advertisement for this book, but if you're able to, I think you need to go and read it. Okay, bye. Hopefully tomorrow's better.